Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the He-Ray Vision podcast. I got myself Hector and Mario,
What up?
and today we're going to be reviewing a spoiler review. Spoilers. A spoiler review of M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin.
Night at the Cabin.
I was going Night at the Cabin. Knock at the Cabin. Knock at the Cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into it, you guys can listen to us anywhere: YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. And make sure you guys follow our socials at He-Ray Vision Podcast. And, okay, this movie was actually better than I expected.
That's true.
Because, like, a lot of people were, like, I guess there was, like, a bit of mixed reactions, bro. Like, you heard a lot of people didn't really like it. A lot of people did like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of worried.
Iffy.
Yeah, I was kind of worried. But when I saw the trailer, I was kind of hooked on it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, man, for a little history of a director, M. Night Shyamalan, he's known to be very hit or miss.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I'm like,
Well, here, let me. I got a list.
oh shit, he's done.
Yeah.
All right, bet.
So, but you go ahead and finish your.
Because I told this to Hector yesterday on the way to when we're gonna go see the movie. I was like, yeah, man, with this guy, man, he did me wrong, bro. So for those of you who don't know, M. Night Shyamalan directed a movie a while back. I'm talking like years ago, called Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know that movie?
Like the animated?
Not like the anime show, but it's like the real life movie of it, like with people.
Oh,
and
okay.
well, yeah, anybody who's seen that movie obviously know how bad it is, how terrible it is, and shit. And so ever since then, bro, this motherfucker, I've always been like, it's probably gonna be shit. And I thought this movie was gonna be shit. Not gonna lie, because I did see those reviews of mixed reaction. I'm like, you know what? I'm not surprised. You know, I'm not surprised it's gonna be a bad movie. But I can't let that, my opinion of that movie go into this one. Obviously, I had to judge it fairly, and I was fairly surprised with this movie.
Yeah. So the last Airbender, that's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
He did that one in 2010.
Yeah, bro. God damn it.
So he directed The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, the
What is
19. It's the one where this one right here.
The Sixth Sense.
Or like, I think that's the one where like the little boy's like, I see dead people, like that meme shit.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it's that one.
Fuck, maybe.
He did. I'll just mention the ones I'm sure we know. He did Split.
Split? What's Split?
In 2016. The dude,
I never seen that one.
Oh,
I never seen that one.
Then he did Glass.
Isn't that the sequel to that? Or am I
Yeah,
tripping?
he
I never seen that
multiple
one either.
personality.
Yeah. I never seen that one either.
That was 2019. Then 2021, he did that Old movie.
Old.
Yeah, Old. Mario, you know this one.
Oh, I saw. Remember the trailer? Man, 2021 movie. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I remember the trailer.
But Old. Come on, man, you know that one.
I didn't see that one.
And then he did a show 2019 through 2022 called Servant. It's a TV series, 4 episodes.
Only 4 episodes.
And then obviously his newest one is Knock at the Cabin. And Split and Glass I enjoyed. Sixth Sense I like too, even though it's been so long since I've seen that one. Old I have not seen. I have not seen Old, but like the premise seems cool though.
Yeah, you go to a beach, and if I remember correctly, you go in the water, you come out the water, you're like you're like a kid when you go in the water and you leave, and you're a fucking teenager or some shit.
And like you're just trapped. You're just trapped on this beach that you're just aging really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I thought the premise was cool. Then obviously this new one, Knock at the Cabin, and this movie was based off of the book. I think it's called Cabin. Yeah, The Cabin at the End of the World, and I think that one was published in 2018. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I obviously never read the book, but this movie opens up like really. I think it opens up really well because it really I think it immediately hooks you.
It's very intense.
You know what I mean? Because all we get is we see the little girl Wen in the woods like hunting
grasshoppers.
Yeah, she's capturing grasshoppers, and then we see Dave Bautista's character Leonard coming towards her like a creep. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And then sits down next to her and like just start talking it up, and it's kind of like, yo, that's creepy. Like, who the fuck?
Like, what are you doing? Why are you out here in the middle of fucking nowhere in these like in this forest? And they have a conversation, right? Like between Gwen and Leonard, basically like Leonard's trying to like warm up to Gwen a little bit, and like I said before, the shots are very intense because as they're having this conversation, I noticed this is that it's literally a close up of their fucking faces. Oh, like they would talk and boom, you're like right there with in front, like looking at their fucking face, like really and it would just switch in between both of them, right? Until like Leonard, Dave Bautista's character, he says, he's like, I'm sorry, Gwen, but I'm sorry what I had to do today with the decisions I have to make. Just know I'm being forced to do these decisions, and I'm not proud. He talks like that. That like the way I'm speaking, that's how his character talks.
Like he's very calm.
He's very calm, but like he talks weird, bro. Like his word choice. You know what I'm talking about?
Like his word choices?
Yeah, like the way he's like, if we don't be honest with them, they'll never agree with us. Why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Like he will talk like that, very sporadic. I guess you can say not sporadic. Like it's hard to describe. And if you don't see the movie, it's hard to explain. But if you have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But that's besides the point. After that, what happens? The girl runs into the cabin to say like, hey, to meet.
Yeah, and then we finally we meet this gay couple and stuff, and it's like a typical like home invasion where, you know, the daughter's like, yo, freaking out, there's a bunch of strangers, because after she's running away, we see other people, like I think three more coming in with like these weird weapons,
yeah.
And then obviously they're at the cabin. When the little girl, she's freaking out, telling to her parents like, yo, there's strangers, whatever. The parents are like, all right, calm down. They go inside the cabin, and then obviously we get that knock at the cabin, right?
Knock at the cabin.
And then they're talking through the door, like, oh yeah, can you please open the door? Like it'll be easier to have this conversation and shit. To me, that's kind of bullshit when people say that.
Yeah,
like what do you mean? We're talking right now.
Yeah, we're talking right now. Why is seeing my face fucking even better? Yeah, right. If anything, bro, that makes me think like you're trying to invade my house. Like why would like come on, man? Like I said, that Leonard, he's fucking weird, bro. The way his word choice, bro.
Yeah, like they're all pretty like strange.
Yeah,
like, they're all strange, and obviously the parents, they're like, nah, fuck that, and they get hostile, and the group, they just break in. They break in. They have like they tussle around, and they eventually capture these guys, and they just have them locked. Like they just have them.
They have them tied up to a chair.
Yeah, tied up to a chair. With Gwen isn't tied up.
Gwen, no, because I think why they did that is because they didn't want to make the dads angry.
Yeah, right.
That was my reason, and because it's a kid, bro.
And I think about it because like I wonder if the guys that were tied up, if they just like complied, maybe they wouldn't be tied up. Because like
maybe
they don't. Like I said, they weren't trying to hurt him. That's like the whole.
No, if the whole premise of this story is kind of told to you in the very beginning, but you don't believe it because you think these people are crazy.
Right. So what it is these group of people, they just invade this cabin, and they
straight up tell them.
Yeah, they straight up tell them, hey, the world is ending. In order to stop the world from ending, you guys need to sacrifice one another. And we cannot choose for you. We're not gonna hurt you, whatever the fuck. And that's pretty much the whole premise of the story. And you're like, what? Okay, these guys are crazy.
Yeah,
like,
and yeah, you as the viewer are like, okay, you guys are clearly full of shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What drugs are you taking? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So like, at this point, I'm over here thinking, I'm like, okay, so like, who are these people really? That's what I thought. I'm like, okay, who are they really? Like, are they part of like some sort of like cult or some shit? Like how are we gonna find out about it? But these motherfuckers were telling the truth, man.
Yeah, they're just really weird. You don't know what's going on, and this all happens in like the first like 20 minutes. Of the movie.
Right away.
Like that's one thing that I did like about this movie is like there wasn't, and I said this to you, Mario, like after we saw it, there wasn't this time where I got bored. Like I was never like
you were always hooked.
Yeah, you were always curious. You're always like, what the fuck's happening? Who are these?
Because
guys?
You're always trying to figure out, okay, where's the bullshit at? Where's the next time in the story we're gonna be like, oh, there we go.
Yeah. And that's another thing that like I don't think it was predictable either. Like at least I wasn't really expecting that. The thing is,
it is predictable, but the way they tell the story, it makes you second guess yourself all the damn time. Yeah.
That's facts. Because because like what Mario said, you're like, okay, who are these guys? And then the guys, the group, they decide, you know what, before we do this or whatever, you have to make a decision who's gonna sacrifice who, and that person has to kill you or like whatever, right? We cannot do that for you, and you have until morning or something, or else bad things will happen. Now, obviously, rightfully so, they're like, nah, you guys are bullshitting,
You're
like
crazy.
whatever, yeah, you're crazy. And then they're like, well, okay, let's tell you guys about us, about each other, you know, where because you guys deserve to know. And then we get to learn these people, right? Like Leonard is a middle school coach,
second grade teacher.
Oh,
but
he's a teacher?
But he's a teacher, second grade teacher. But he coaches these kids, and like I remember because he was like the boys' record is we're 3-5, and the girls are 5-8.
So,
we're not good, but I love those damn kids.
Oh, so so he's like a second grade coach of like a team or something.
I could have sworn he was a teacher. I could have sworn he
Really?
said that.
So I guess he did both.
Yeah, he did both. Yeah,
oh, he
yeah,
did
yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did both. Then we get introduced to, I believe, bro. I think it's fucking Ron from Harry Potter.
I mean, I can look it. I can look it up, bro. You can keep talking. I can look it up.
I think it's him. It's the dude. It's Ron Weasley from Harry Potter.
He looks like him.
I forgot his like I said his actor name. His real name. I forgot his real name, but I could have sworn it was him. But anyways, his character, he just says that he works at this gas line.
Yeah, you're right. It is him.
It is him?
It is
I
him.
fucking knew it. I told you. I was telling Mario, and Mario was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like, have you seen Harry Potter?
I have, but like I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in so fucking long, bro. That I'm just like, man, is
he
it
just
him?
had a beard, bro.
Yeah, I think it was the beard because it was so fucking big, bro.
Yeah, bro. I fucking knew it. I'm like, dude, that's him.
Yeah, it was him.
But yeah, he says that he's an ordinary dude that works at this gas.
Gas company, some shit.
Like gas company who.
He made mistakes in his younger days, and he
got locked up.
He got locked up for a bit, but he's better now. He's a better person.
Right, and then we got introduced to another girl I think she was the funny girl. Like she was like quirky. She was like
the chef.
Yeah, right. She said she was a chef at a Mexican restaurant, and that she has a kid and stuff. And then we get the other woman who says that she's a nurse.
Yeah, an emergency room nurse, some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that she's basically she's a nurse, and they all came together with this purpose because they all had this vision, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you talking all had about? A vision, yeah. It's like, yeah, we had this vision. We met up, whatever, and then one of the guys, I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was, I forgot which one it was, but he says, like, oh, like what the fuck, like. You guys just looked each other up on the internet and like we're talking about like the visions you had and you guys decided to meet up and do this shit planned or whatever. And to me, when he said that, I'm like, that's kind of facts, bro.
Yeah.
Because like people like the West, that's kind of how cults are formed. Like people go on Reddit and shit, they find their group and stuff like through the internet, and they talk about these beliefs. They have the same beliefs and they meet up and stuff. Yeah. So that's what. So I thought. So he made a good point. I'm like,
I said, bro, the story makes you second guess yourself all the time because you're like, you know what? That's facts.
Yeah, it's like that's facts. Like,
it's all the entire time like you want to believe these strangers, but then you're like, wait a minute, why am I believing them? Like, come on now, like that's facts.
Well, yeah. Now the listeners are wondering, well, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean y'all believe them? Well, we get. So obviously they're deciding, hey, so are you guys gonna do it? Yes or no? We told you who we are. These are our visions. You have to trust us. He's like, what kind of visions you saw? And Leonard, Dave Batista's character, he says that like, oh, the ocean will start rising. He said that a plague would
befall on humanity or some shit like that.
Humanity and stuff.
And the sky would fall.
The sky would fall like glass and stuff. And there was something else. God's fingers will be scorching the
earth. Yeah, you're right.
And shit. Yeah. And obviously, when you hear this shit, you're like,
bro, this man's in the beginning, I'm like, okay, these guys are a cult or like some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are. I'm like, yeah, these guys are definitely crazy. And me thinking, I'm like, bro, I kept thinking like, okay, these guys are tied up, and it's most likely it's gonna take place at this cabin. I was worried that I was gonna be like, I'm kind of bored. Like,
dude, me too. Me too. I swear to God.
Because I'm like, okay, right from the jump, these guys are tied up. We're in the cabin. Is it just gonna be a whole back and forth talking throughout the whole movie?
And the whole movie's in this cabin because if so, it's gonna be boring, right?
Right. That's what I thought. But surprisingly, even though it was kind of like that, I was still enjoyed it. I was still intrigued. I was like, oh shit, like I actually fuck with this. And so when they say, okay, are you guys gonna do it? Yes or no? They're like, hell no, whatever. And then they're like, okay, fuck it. And then that's when Ron's character, like, puts on this what is it, like a white,
He puts on a white like mask,
like a white bag mask, or like
yeah, basically it's like a not a face mask. Imagine a face mask, but like no holes or anything, like no holes for your eyes, no holes for your mouth or in your nose.
You mean a ski mask?
A ski mask, yeah. There you go.
You said face mask.
Oh, some shit. Yeah, I meant that.
I mean, when I think of face mask, I think of the
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, my bad.
But yeah, like it's like a thin ski mask, whatever.
Yeah.
And like as he's putting it on, he's like shaking. He's like, I'm so scared, whatever the fuck. He's like, don't you fucking look away from me. He's talking to the guy tied up, and he gets on his knees. He puts down his makeshift weapon like on the ground, and then who fucking splits him, bro?
It's not Leonard. It's I think Leonard puts in the last blow.
Oh,
it's the two girls. They hit him at the same time, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And then Leonard like finishes him off, to
yeah,
guarantee the death.
And so they kill this dude.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the? When I saw that, bro, I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, so I mean, clearly they aren't going to hurt these guys tied up because they literally just killed this guy. Because and the reason why they killed him was because they couldn't come up with a decision. Like, no, we're not doing.
We're not
this.
Gonna kill ourselves. Yep.
And then so like, what the fuck? What'd you guys do? They dragged him out and stuff. And they're like, watch. They turn on the TV, and then we get this news report of like 4 hours ago about this tsunami. And we're like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Like, okay, tsunami. And then the guy's like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Like 4 hours ago, whatever. And then Leonard's like, just wait, right? And then a couple minutes later, we finally get like a new report of this earthquake causing a tsunami. Then we finally get this scene of the tsunami happening. Yeah, which that shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way you see it's kind of like a found footage movie where like you're seeing it from like a person who's there and like you see the waves from far away come in and you're like, oh fuck, no, that's kind of small, you know, that ain't that bad. But as you get closer, you're just like, dude, not gonna lie, bro, that scared the fuck out of me. Imagine.
I think they said 50 feet. Bro.
Yeah, 50 feet high, bro. And as they're like, you're literally, it's like a couple feet away from you. You're just like looking at it and you're like, holy fuck, that is so fucking scary. And whenever I see shit like that, bro, it just reminds me of like, bro, like we're really at like the will of like the elements, if that makes sense. You know, like nature? Of nature, like Earth. Like Earth can just like fuck us just like that, man.
That's facts. Well, the coast. If you're talking about like tsunamis, then the coast are fucked.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, bro. It's kind of like there could be a fucking huge ass asteroid the size of Earth coming towards us.
Yeah.
There's nothing we could do to blow that bitch up. It's gonna hit us, right? Or sometimes like you know how the Earth is like spinning and stuff because of gravity, whatever. What if the gravity like just switches off and we just fall? Like, I know that's not possible. Like you can't just switch off gravity, but just put that in perspective. Like if it did, right? Let's say it did.
I don't even want to think about where do we go? Is it
do we feel like when it falls? Do we like go up in the air and shit?
Dude,
like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. It's just one of those things where I'm like, man, I just don't want to think about it because it's like so scary. Yeah. It makes you think like, does space have a floor?
Hell no. Nah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think. I think space is endless.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like one of the things like your curiosity gets to you. Like, bro, like where's the end to space?
You know what's fucked? If an asteroid or serious catastrophe does not, extinct humanity, eventually humanity will have to deal with that. Like if we don't kill off the planet, like how it's already fucked up, right? Whatever. Yeah. If we somehow manage to survive all this time to the point where the sun dies, because that's what's gonna happen. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
we're humanity's
fucked. Listen,
obviously.
Bro, we ain't gonna be there when it happens. So we chilling, bro. We chilling.
Yeah, we are. But that's another thing though. Is like, what if like later down the road we get advanced technology where we space traveling and shit?
I mean, shit, bro. Listen, some talking like years, bro. The sun ain't gonna die, bro, for a long,
billions.
It's gonna last forever. But I mean, shit. Like you said, if we don't kill off the planet, bro, I mean, who knows how technology is gonna advance,
and who knows how long humanity will be not extinct? Because, like what you said, anything like a fucking meteor extinct the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro.
So it's kind of like that could happen too with us.
Yeah,
or like whatever.
Fuck that. That shit scares me, bro. Oh my god.
Or like, what about like the Earth, like earthquake, like in 2012 or that movie, or like typical apocalypse shit where like the Earth, like there's earthquakes, but massive earthquakes that like it starts splitting the Earth in half, whatever. Like that shit creepy as fuck.
Dude, I just hate talking about this.
I think when it comes to that, I think the tsunamis and the water rising is what freaks me out.
Yeah, because the water's just so high, and you're just like, why am I running? Like
What am
I'm
I supposed to do?
fine.
And like if the wave sweeps you away, bro, like you're gonna be impaled into like buildings and shit. Like there's debris, rocks and stuff. Like
You're
fucked.
fucked, dude. You're just
man.
fucked, man.
The end of the world, man. What kind of? I remember in 2012, bro. I was actually scared, bro.
Me too.
I was like,
I
oh,
remember
shit.
waking up. Man, I remember.
I was like, let me play one
Dude,
more.
I remember waking up because we were in 5th grade when that shit was happening, right? I remember waking up that day, that night. I mean, going to bed that night and being like, "Fuck, bro! Like, is the world really gonna end tomorrow?" Like in my bed, bro. I'm not fucking with you, bro. I was in my bed. I'm like, bro, like this might be my last day on earth, bro. Fuck it.
Did I?
Yeah. And then I woke up that day. I was like, oh.
You're like, fuck it, man.
We live.
It's like, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Let me go to sleep.
Right, for real, bro.
I'm gonna play one more match of Call of Duty.
Yeah, hell no. What were you that that day? Like the night before?
And that would happen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. So, like, yeah, I'm gonna be real, man. I'm always skeptical.
Second guessing?
I'm fucking up the word.
Oh.
Skeptical. Yeah. Fucking about those things. I know, like, I was a kid growing up, bro, where like I didn't believe in shit, but then I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna try that though.
Yeah. like the Ouija board?
Yeah, like the Ouija board,
Yeah.
or like, like when I remember when I was in like, I think I was like 7 years old or something, 8, back when the internet was still popping and stuff. I would have Facebook, and those posts where it's like, oh, like share or else
you're gonna
or else this lady's coming.
Yeah,
for
I know
you.
what you mean, bro. I fell for that. No, bro, I actually have a cool dude. I have a story about that, bro. I'm not fucking with you. I have a story, a quick story. I know we're reviewing something, but this is I'll make it quick. So basically, one time, I was on my way to Mexico, right? Because we're both Mexicans. December is when you go to Mexico, right?
Okay.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, that should keep it
I mean,
$1.50. December
that's
time
facts.
is when most Hispanics go to Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're on our way to Mexico, right? We're driving there, right? We make a quick stop at Texas because that's where my family is, and we're gonna spend the night.
Yeah.
So this family that I'm staying with, they're currently working. They work construction, so they're renting out a house where the workers stay at. All right, that's not too far from the site, and so we arrived at the house. We were there. We're chilling. Then night comes, right? So I'm on my phone. Not my phone. I had an iPod. An iPod, right? Like an old ass one, like an iPod, like 4 or 5, like those bulky ones.
Yeah.
And I'm on Facebook, right? Late at night, it's like 11:30 or some shit. And the post you're talking about, it's this story. Maybe you heard of it. I don't fucking know. About a person who's walking, and then those drain holes where like the sewers are at. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
This person's walking and the person falls.
Okay.
And it's such a deep fall, the person is paralyzed. He can't move. The person can't move at all, right? And because he can't move, this like figure or something comes to him and like basically kills him.
Okay, this is all in a picture?
No, this is all like
video?
in a post. This is in a post.
Oh, you reading? Like,
I'm reading the story. Obviously, I can't remember the exact details, but that's like those are the main points, right?
Okay.
And so basically, the post is like, well, this is what happened because of I forgot why, but the point is that if you don't share this post and like it, the same thing will happen to you. No. Here's the funny part. That's not funny. So I read that shit and I'm just like you. I'm like, yeah, right, bitch. Yeah. I scroll past it. Right? I'm not right. I'm still on Facebook. I'm not fucking with you. Okay. I'm not fucking with you. Like a minute later. The doorknob to our room, because the doors are locked. Okay. We're not locked, but they're shut.
Yeah.
Right? And they're locked, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, like the knob, it starts shaking, like someone's trying to open it, but not like normal, like you grab it normally, open the door. Like someone's like going hard, like trying to like invade, like crazy, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? And what makes this even scarier is that I know it's not any of the other people who are living in that house, like the other workers that are my family, because my uncle told those people like, hey, they're gonna be sleeping here tonight, so don't come in at night, don't do anything. Yeah. So I'm like, wait, it can't be them because they know that we're in here. So who the fuck's aggressively trying to open the door? Right, so I'm scared as shit because I just finished reading that story and I'm on my iPad. I'm like, let me find it. Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? I like it. I repost it.
Okay, but who was it?
I don't know, bro. I was too scared. I'm not gonna get on my fucking bed and
Wait.
trying to figure out who was doing that.
So when you liked and shared it, the shit stopped?
It stopped,
No way,
bro. And that shit happened and it stopped. I was like, bro, fuck that shit.
No way.
Bro, I was so scared because I was like, yeah, fuck that. That shit's fake. And then that happens. And I'm like, I go back to it, like it stopped. Never happened again.
No, that's actually funny.
Keep in mind, bro,
I'm upset
I-
that you didn't find out what it was.
No, because I remember that next morning, I asked my aunt, I was like, hey, did anyone else hear the doorknob shit? The doorknob go crazy last night? And she said she heard it, but everybody else was asleep. But she didn't know who it was either.
And it was from the outside?
It was from the outside. Like, you can't, bro.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Dude, like, it's like someone's trying to, like, break in. That's how hard they were shaking it.
That's creepy, bro.
Yeah, bro. Dude,
fuck?
that scared the shit. Like, you don't
That makes
understand.
sense.
I was so scared.
Yeah, that's like,
Yeah.
God damn, bro. That's
Yeah,
actually
man.
scary. I mean, well,
Going back to review. Yeah, go back to review. Sorry about that.
Well, I mean, I
story.
didn't finish answer. You didn't finish. Let me finish You asked me a question I didn't even answer.
What was it?
You were like, where were you in 2000, the day before 2012?
Oh, yeah, my bad. Yeah, go. My bad, yo.
Look, long story short, I grew up to be one of those skepticisms motherfuckers. Like, I don't believe in Ouija boards, but I ain't doing that. Or like, same with those posts, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I would think about it when I was a kid, right? Obviously, I'd be thinking about like, maybe I should do it, whatever. But then I'm like, nah, there's no way. I was just so in my head where like, there's no way. Like a random ass ghost bitch.
I know
get
what
my
you
ass.
mean, bro.
So I'm like, fuck it. But then after I skip it, I'm like, oh shit, right? I'm like, oh shit. But then like, oh, it's gonna happen at this day, this time, right? So I'm waiting. So I'm like, okay, then I didn't share whatever. I'm gonna wait this day. I'm gonna wait this time, and I'm freaking out. Nothing happens. I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. So when it came to 2012, everybody was talking about it. Remember?
It was everywhere. Even the news, bro.
Yeah, everybody was talking about it. So I was kind of freaking out. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why would it? Why now? Whatever. And then I think like, I don't know, man. I think I just like was like, you know what? If it happens, it happens, or whatever. And I just went to sleep. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I thought too much of it.
Oh, okay.
But that's just how. Yeah, that's just how I was, or whatever. But yeah. So then, okay. So that tsunami happens like 4 hours, and then Leonard once again he's like, just wait. And then another earthquake happens, and then another tsunami happens.
Yeah.
And so at that moment, I'm like, "Hey, yo, what?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yo.
This is when you start to believe these strangers.
Well, I personally didn't believe him right away. I was just skeptical. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, that's kind of weird. But but then I caught that note. I'm like, wait, but like, it said 4 hours ago there was already an earthquake. So like, I don't know, maybe it's coincidence. And then the guy, one of the dads is like, it's pre-recorded. Look, there was one that happened 4 hours ago or whatever. It's pre-recorded. Leonard is looking at his watch. He's like planning this whole thing out, blah, blah, blah. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like. Then again, I don't think it showed if it was live TV or whatever. I wonder. I think Leonard should have proved like, no, look, it's live or some shit. You know, he didn't really do that.
Yeah, that's true. It again, like I brought it up earlier, it makes you once you like start to not me. I started to like kind of believe him. For you, you were still being a little bit skeptical about it. But then immediately it like brings you back to quote unquote like reality, where that one dad said like, no, it's pre-recorded. He keeps looking at his watch.
Exactly, snaps you in.
Yeah, and you're like, oh wait, I'm an idiot for thinking these guys are actually telling the truth. Like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Yeah.
Yeah. I was more on the fence, bro. I was like, nah, I still don't believe you. But then I was like, because before he mentioned about the whole pre-recorded, like, look, it happened. I didn't think about the pre-recorded shit. I was like, oh, that's smart. But what I did think, I'm like, but it happened 4 hours ago. And I think that's what made me be on the fence. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's happened 4 hours ago. And then, like, Leonard's saying, he's always saying we don't have much time, whatever, because like maybe he knew that happened or something, and I don't know.
Maybe.
And so that's pretty much how the story pretty much goes. You know, they keep asking him, hey, so are you guys gonna make a sacrifice? No. And then just one by one, each member of the cult sacrifices themselves. And the next one was the quirky girl.
The quirky girl, yeah.
And she's the one like, oh, I have a family, I have this, like, please, like, whatever. And the guy's like, I don't believe that you have you have a son or whatever. And then, well, have you guys made a decision? He's like, nope. It was like, we're not doing it. I'd rather have the world die or whatever.
And then us kill one of us die.
Yeah. And so, and so then when it was the woman's, the quirky girl, when it was her turn to be sacrificed, obviously the nurse ends up hitting her, and so does Batista. And then we're like, what the fuck's? We're like, oh shit, what the fuck, right? And then like turn on the news, and me in my head, I'm like, no way.
Yeah,
when they're like turn on the news, I'm like, no,
they're like,
way,
there's no
dude.
fucking way. Like, how do if me in my mind, I'm like, okay, they're faking it, but how are they gonna fake this one?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, because we already saw the water rays, whatever, like you mentioned before, and so this next one, nothing was happening, like same shit, and then he's like, just no, wait, or whatever, and then we start getting like emergency, like breaking news, whatever, where this plague, whatever, started happening
That only affects kids.
Yeah, right, because that's what Batista said, a plague that only affects kids, and we see these shots of children in the hospital with like their fucking nose and eyes bleeding or something like that. I don't know.
And they're all dying like that as they're all dying.
Yeah, and like it's spreading super fast. And then at that moment, I think that's when I turned to you, Mario. I was like, no way. You know what I mean? I was like, no way this is actually happening right now.
Yeah.
Because at first, like I said, the guy who was like, it's pre-recorded or whatever, he's timing this. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? Okay. But then when this happened, how do you explain that? You know what I mean?
I don't fucking know, bro.
What'd you think about that part? When
I was shocked. I was like, I'm like, maybe like what I literally thought. I'm not bullshitting. This is what I thought. I'm like, maybe they have like it's a stretch, which is why I immediately threw it away. I was like, maybe like they paid these people to have this shit on there. You know what I mean? Like these are all actors that they paid. Like all these people are part of their cult.
Right?
Like,
okay.
But then I'm just like, wait a minute, but like, how do you fucking pull that off? Like, this is a random channel on their TV. I'm like, that makes no sense.
Not only that, like we get video crews of reporters like looking at all the photos of like the tsunami. Like, how do you fake that, right? For one, and not only that, like all the different children being sick and stuff. Like they're filming it, so it's like, in order to cover up this murder, right, of these gay men, which later on in the story. One of the dad's figures are like, oh, they're being targeted because they're gay, right? And then Letter's like, no, we don't judge, we don't whatever the fuck.
I don't have a homophobic bone in my body.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's not why. We're not doing this because you're gay, basically, and says that it just so happens that you guys were staying at this cabin at the wrong time, whatever. It just regardless. And so that's what that's pretty much what we get. So like. So then the next thing, obviously, it's still going back and forth, basically, and then we get the nurse that ends up being sacrificed.
Yeah.
And this one was
a bit different because she gets shot by.
Oh, that's right. Bro.
She gets shot by the dad. So before that happens, all I remember is that.
So what happens is one of the dads, they brought his firearm.
Yeah.
He brought his firearm through the vacation into the back of the car, like back of their car, and we get a backstory of what's going on with the couple, and it's general stuff, you know. We get a how they meet. They go ahead and meet their parents, right?
That Loki that was tough, bro, because they said that they drove 7 hours to meet the I don't know if they were married officially, but to meet the partner. And they were, like I said, they drove 7 hours, but only stayed 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
and it was just essentially like the typical, like meeting your parents and your parents don't support you being gay and whatnot. Yeah. We get a flashback of how they got their daughter, which we forgot to mention is obviously she was adopted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's adopted. She's a Asian little girl. She was adopted. We get a scene of that, and then we get another scene where they were. I guess, one of the dads was attacked at the bar. Yeah. For talking too loudly, and it all goes back to like, it's because we're gay or whatever. Yeah. And because of that incident, him being attacked in that bar, he went out and bought a gun to like defend himself. So that's a gun.
He started boxing.
Yeah, he started boxing, and in the beginning of the movie, we get a cool scene where that dad starts fucking up with Ron. Ron Weasley, with his boxing skills.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And so that's basically how he gets the gun, right? And so he manages to escape with the help of Wen. Wen gives him a knife. He starts cutting out his minds. The other husband distracts the nurse and Batista, and then the other husband, he decides to book it to the car, and the nurse is chasing him, and eventually he gets the gun. He points it at her. He's like, "You better leave, whatever the fuck."
Yeah.
Me personally, I would have shot. I would have shot, bro.
Yeah, because
Like,
she literally just
you're
she
being
literally
tied down.
and she was stabbing you as he was struggling to open the
He's
gun.
like, "I don't want to do this and stuff." Like, I would have shot her, right? And so she ends up she just like runs away. She's like, "Okay," runs away. He goes back in the house, points the gun at Batista and everything. He's like, "You get the fuck away from him. Get in the fucking bathroom. All this shit." And so, as he's commanding orders, the nurse comes back and enters the room, runs towards him. The dude shoots her and kills him, and kills her. And that's how she dies. And then Batista obviously has to, he has to like say these. I forgot, what was it again? The words that he says.
Another guardian has fallen, or another tribute.
Like another judgment, like another God's judgment, another God's judgment has been placed, or like something like that.
It was something like that. Yeah.
And ends up, doing his thing. And there's another thing too, because the movie's rated R, but like we see a bunch of blood, but we don't see anything crazy. In my opinion, bro. You know what I mean?
I think the
crazy.
reason why they did rated R is because you don't see, like, when they actually kill him, you don't really see it per se. Like, it's not obvious.
You don't see
like
it.
they do
it's
it off
camera.
screen. It's off camera, but you still can hear it. Like you can clearly hear it, and I think that's why they rated it R. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
that's the only reason I can come up with why they rated it R.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I was just confused. I'm like, okay, it's rated R, but we don't really get to see anything. I'm not saying we needed to.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I'm just saying, interesting. Okay. But yeah, and usually, like, honestly, rated R just have more darker tones, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just kind of like that. But anyways, so that happens, and they're like, I think, isn't that when they show the TV again?
Yeah, they show the TV again, and this is when...
This was crazy, bro.
This
is where I was like, dude, I'm believing these guys. I'm not
Like,
gonna lie. I think this was solidified. I'm like, no way. You
This
can't
is the
fake
airplane
this.
one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so after the nurse dies, basically they turn on the TV, and airplanes start falling from the sky, bro.
Yeah.
And it literally shows like 3 airplanes crashing, and I'm just like, yo, what the fuck?
And then the news report said like a total of like more than 700 planes have been.
And the news reporter was saying like it was a massive cyber attack. Were they calling it like a terrorist attack or some shit like that? I thought I heard that.
I think one of the dads said that.
Ah, okay.
Like,
Okay,
like what? A terrorist attack or something like that. And to me, when I saw that, bro, I was like, yo, that's kind of raw. And obviously, this is the part where Leonard was saying, oh, like the sky's falling or whatever the fuck. And obviously, this is like weird, fucked up. And so the dad gets freaked out and says, stay in the fucking bathroom, Leonard. We're going to take your car. Like, tell us where you put your car because they're going to try to escape. And all you hear, he's in the bathroom. All you hear is like a window break, and they're freaking out. I was like, yo, did he go outside? Like, he escaped through the window. And he's calling for his name. Like, Leonard, are you in there? Are you in there? Opens the door, and then the window's broken, but like it's a small window.
Yeah,
like, he can't fit in there.
And I remember saying like, bro, he can't fit through that.
No, he can't.
Yeah.
And so Leonard was hiding in the
shower.
In the shower.
Behind the curtains.
Behind the curtains. And me, I knew that. I said that to him. Like,
Yeah.
no, bro, like he can't fit through it. He's hiding behind there.
Yeah.
And then we get that little jump scare where like he tackles him. He tackles him down. Leonard actually gets the gun, and he's still not. He doesn't shoot him or anything. He's like, hey, I can't kill you guys. I'm not trying to do this to you guys. Like whatever. And to me, I'm like, dude, like that's interesting. He's not gonna kill him or anything. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
At that point, right? And so after that, what happens after that?
After that, basically, he's the final one. Leonard's the only one left, and he basically walks him outside. Like, I'd rather have this conversation outside.
Yeah.
And he basically talks to him again, like, "Oh, you guys need to make a decision. You got to make a choice." Or whatever.
Before we get to that, we forgot to mention something. So like during, I think when the planes were falling, or I think the plague, I can't remember. One of the husbands starts believing.
Oh yeah.
Well, which one was it? After the plague or the planes?
I think it was after the plague. After the
plague?
cookie girl died. I'm pretty sure it was that one because I remember him saying like, Oh, when she was bandaging me up, the nurse was bandaging me up because of his concussion that he had. He said, "I thought I saw someone in like this in the glare or whatever or
Like
some
a
shit."
figure.
Yeah, but the other husband was like, "No, you have a concussion. You're just seeing things. You have a concussion. Come on now." And yeah, he basically said he was like, I could tell he was the one, or like I think he's gonna be the one to sacrifice himself because he was saying all this shit.
Yeah, and like, and he's slowly believing. Like he's
Yeah.
like, "Yo, I'm seeing this shit happen." I think with the plane situation as well, it really solidified. He's like, "Yo, he's believing it." And obviously, the other husband is still like, "No, this isn't real.
Like,
You
what
guys
the-
are
yeah,
tweaking."
like,
And I thought that was like good because I was telling Mario this. Like, if this happened in real life, just like this, I truly believe that at least one of the persons will start believing. And then the other will keep saying no, 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 whatever. So I'm like, okay, I kind of believe that. But yeah, so then that's like one thing that happened. One of the husbands started believing it, the other still he wasn't. So then we get to what you're saying. Leonard's outside, his rocking chair, and
So basically, Leonard sits down in the chair and he basically gives him run like, "You guys have to
Yeah.
make a choice because after I die, after
Yeah.
I sacrifice myself, you only have minutes before
Right.
the end of the world."
and this was the last one. This was the God's fingers scorching the earth,
Yeah.
part. Type
And
shit.
so basically, he does it. He kills himself because they don't make a choice. So he's like, "All right, you guys only have minutes." He cuts his throat, and he dies. Right. And I
Oh
believe.
wait, what before? Fuck, there's another thing I wanted to talk about.
What?
Sorry guys, before we get to that, after the planes, remember the woman was giving that report, and then Leonard stood side by side with her and was saying the same shit that
Oh yeah,
Was
yeah,
say- was
yeah,
saying
yeah,
things.
yeah. You're right. So basically, there was this woman in the TV giving a report of the planes, right? And before the woman would say the report, Leonard was repeating what the woman would say before she said it. So if the woman said there were 2,500 casualties, Leonard would have said it literally a second before she said
Yeah.
it. To prove to the husband, like, "Hey, I'm not making this up. Look, I'm saying exactly what she's saying right before she says it without hesitation."
And then one of the dads was like, "How are you doing that?"
Yeah,
You know?
like, "How are you doing that? This is pre-recorded, blah blah blah." And that right there, I was like, "Damn, okay, I think I'm starting to believe these
Yeah,
guys."
bro. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on?
But to get back,
Yeah.
Leonard offs himself, obviously, and then the dads tell Gwen to go up to the treehouse to put
It's
her head.
when. It's when.
Gwen?
When. It's when, bro.
When? I thought it was Gwen. My bad.
No, it's when.
When to go into the treehouse and to put on some headphones and play music, and don't leave it until one of them comes and gets
Yeah.
you. And so she does that. She goes in the treehouse. These two go in the house, and I wish I knew this fucker's name. What the fuck was his name? The one who was believing them was basically telling the other dad, saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna be the one to do it. I'm gonna die." And the other guy's like, "No, like, what's wrong with you? Like, no way you believe them." And he's trying to like dissuade him from doing that.
Yeah.
But the other dad's just like, "No, I'm at peace with this decision." And he's like when I want Wen to have a wonderful life, and when I close my eyes, I see you and her leaving her her shop, what's the word for it? Her basically Gwen loves animals, and I'm guessing she wants to open up a veterinarian shop. Her clinic, right?
Clinic, yeah. I
Her
think
clinic.
so.
Yeah, so literally when he's saying these things, you're cut to a scene of Wen fully grown up, like she's an
Yeah.
adult. And the other dad's like older with gray hair, and they're leaving the clinic, and they get in the car and they drive off, and they're both happy and they're both smiling, and that's what the dad who's sacrificing himself sees, and he said I'm at peace with that. Because she gets to live out her dream and you get to be happy with her, and that makes me happy, so that's why I'm okay with dying.
Yeah.
And basically the other dad has the gun, obviously.
Yeah.
And if I'm right, don't they tie the gunshot with the lightning that's currently going on?
Yeah, because like we get the clouds like
Yeah.
turning dark and stuff.
Yeah, because remember at this time Leonard's dead, so
Yeah.
they have minutes, so shit's like prepping in a way. And there's lightning, which is the quote unquote fire, because they're in the forest, so the lightning's causing fire. And so at the end of like those two conversation, ultimately the guy pulls the trigger, and again, here's another to add to your point. They don't show this, but they show it off camera, like
Yeah.
him dying, which is already R shit. Which you're right, I do see it, but at the same time, I guess it's brutal. I guess.
Yeah.
But so then that happens, and then almost immediately, and I mean immediately, shit calms down, right? Because then he goes to the tree house, he gets Wen, they go in the car, and then they go to this diner.
Well, no, it didn't calm down because don't you remember it? The cabin got on fire.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It didn't immediately calm down, like because there was a bunch of lightning strikes, and then there was a bunch of lightning strikes. Forest gets catching on fire. The cabin catches on fire and everything.
The whole cabin gets destroyed.
And then Wen and her dad are like thinking, no, they're like, do we do it on time? Remember? They're like,
Oh,
do
I
we
did
do it on time because it's still happening.
Yeah.
And then they go to that diner. A bunch of people are freaking out. The
Like
news
everyone's looking at the TV.
Yeah, the news is on, and then that's when everything starts. That's when everything starts calming down. Where we get news reports saying, "Yo, planes stop falling. There's no more like fire spread or whatever. Children are less death rates in the children. They're becoming better.
Yeah, that's true.
And then all that shit, like obviously I was believing. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like that's no coincidence.
Yeah, they, at that point it's confirming like, yo, they're like, if you don't know by now and you're not convinced, this is basically proof like, hey, they were right.
Like they were telling the truth
The whole time they were telling the fucking truth.
Like they weren't crazy at all.
And also when a detail we forgot is that when you get introduced to these strangers, they introduce themselves, right? But you don't know if you believe them. When they get in that truck that they rode in, all their stuff is there. So it basically confirms like, oh my god, they really were telling the truth to add to the point where like, you guys, they weren't lying.
Yeah, like that quirky girl, she actually did have a son. Leonard was actually a teacher. The
Ron's character,
he was what's his name?
I don't fucking know.
I apologize, man.
Yeah.
I apologize. But we see that like he's actually an employee at that gas company or whatever, and then we also get the girl who's a nurse
with a picture with her son.
The nurse?
No, not the nurse. The quirky girl. My bad.
I'm talking about the nurse.
Yeah, the nurse. You see her
nurse.
ID.
We see her ID and everything, and basically they just told the truth. They had these visions. They had these serious visions. They went on the internet. They met up and stuff, and they were going about their plans or whatever. And it's just a weird moment because like it's just so weird because the dad is like going through their stuff and it's like, bro, they were telling the truth. And everything, the news and stuff, everybody around them in the diner freaking out or whatever, everything was like true.
Yeah.
And then Wen and the dad, they just drive off into the truck, and that's just end credits. Like,
and credits how the movie ends.
And I wasn't expecting that, bro. I was like, what the hell?
I told Hector, I'm like, bro, they literally tell you the whole story in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But the way they make you entertain is that they make you second guess yourself, which is what I said in the beginning of this review. Is like, you basically know the plot, but you choose to ignore it, or you choose not to accept it.
Right. And so, okay, I really did enjoy the suspense and the mystery, curiosity. I was never bored at all during this movie. I was always intrigued. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I did like, I don't know, I overall liked the movie. It wasn't terrible, people are saying. And I think I'm going to give my rating first. And I was debating, and I thought it over. I thought it through because last night. Because I was debating on the rating. But this movie was definitely not bad, but it wasn't like, whoa, like incredible, spectacular. And it was just a really good movie, in my opinion. I thought, it was just a solid, good movie. And I think what I'm going to rate it is a 7.
A 7?
Yeah. I'm going to do the 7.
A 7. I mean, with this movie, like I said, there's one thing I can say about this movie is that if you're not paying attention, you will easily get lost in this movie.
Yeah.
I told you this last night.
True.
I'm like, if you're on your phone, if you're fidgeting or some shit, if you're gonna be distracted, you will be lost in the story, and you probably won't like it as much as we probably did if you are paying attention. With that being said, like I said, they tell you the story right away, but they always make you second guess yourself, which I thought that was really cool. That was cool. Like I said, one thing that surprised me we didn't bring up is that when they mentioned the fourth horseman.
Oh yeah,
because apparently
I don't know much about that. Do you want to touch on that?
Well, I don't know too much about it either. But apparently these strangers, each one represented guidance, which was like that was Leonard.
No, they represented the elements of the apocalypse.
Yeah,
that's what they said.
Oh, okay. Well, one of them. Well, that was Leonard was guidance, right?
Yeah, guidance.
The nurse was nurturing,
or like healing or whatever.
or yeah, like basically like
Healing.
yeah, like hospital basically.
Yeah. I don't remember the other two.
I forgot.
I don't remember the other two.
Damn it! What fuck were the other two, man, dude?
Don't remember.
But the other two are the other ones. If you know anything about it, they were the Ron's character was the other two, right? You know what I mean? But I was surprised when they brought that out. I was like, huh. I was like, wow, they actually brought that into this movie. I thought that was cool. The ending, I thought it was solid because usually in movies like these, they usually end out of nowhere and then give you no kind of resolution or like no answer. But in this movie, it did. Obviously, you see everything go back to normal. You see things get better. So I thought that was cool. In terms of acting, I think everyone here did a great job. I don't think no one did a bad job.
That's true. I really did like Dave. I like Batista, bro. I like.
Yeah, because you're used to seeing him in fucking Marvel, you know.
Yeah.
And seeing him do a different type of role was really cool to see. In terms of like areas and where this story took place, like I said, it mainly takes place in one area the entire time. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I found it. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse is a metaphor depicting the end of times in the New Testament. They describe conquest, war, hunger, and death, respectively. We use this metaphor to describe communication styles that, accordingly to our research, can predict the end of relationship. What the fuck am I reading? Yeah, I mean, it says conquest, war, famine, and death.
Famine and death. I could have sworn I heard.
No, they said healing and I mean, I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not looking it right. I mean, yeah, did you finish your thought, Mark? I could do more research, but for the people that know, obviously we don't know because we're dumb as hell. But the people listening, you guys know the 4 horsemen, the apocalypse stuff.
Yeah, you just let us know in the comments. But like I said, this all takes place in one area and it takes place in this cabin. But it does a good job of giving you that found footage vibe whenever you get to see these disasters happen, and with the flashbacks that you see. So it makes you feel like you're not stuck in one area, even though you kind of are in the majority of the movie. You never really. I like how that I never really got bored with the story. I was always entertained. I was always immersed in this story. With all that being said, I think this is a very solid film. I don't think this is a bad film at all. I don't think this is a very incredible film. It's a must watch. But I think this is a film that is very solid. I think it's good. I think this was a good film for M. Night Shyamalan, given him that he's very hit or miss. I think this movie wasn't a miss. I think it was a good one from him.
Oh, bro. What? So those, what I mentioned, those are the apocalypse. These guys, since they're trying to prevent the apocalypse, they're the opposite. Does that make sense? So the nurse, that's the opposite of death. She's like the nurturing, healing. The Adrienne, that's the girl, the quirky girl. She's
Adrienne.
She's the opposite of the famine. So because she's a cook.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then let me see if I could see this.
Because Leonard was guidance, I'm pretty sure. I remember him being guidance.
Yeah, the conquest. Instead of like conquering whatever conquest.
He's guiding.
Like, he's guiding. Like and
then what's Ron?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it real quick. I don't know if I could find it. Dang.
All right, I'll just continue then. So basically, I like I said, I think this is just a very good, solid movie. I think I would give this.
He's sympathetic. Sympathetic.
Oh,
because like he represents like the war side. Instead of being like a war, he's sympathetic. So
okay,
that's interesting.
Okay, but well, I'm trying to remember where I was at. Okay, yeah, my rating. So like I said, I think I would give this movie. Like I'm gonna be the same with Hector. I think this movie is a 7 out of 10. I think, and for a 7 out of 10 in our rating, it's a very good. It's very solid. It's a good movie. I think it is worth the watch. I don't think you necessarily got to pay a movie ticket for this movie. You can wait for it's on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on some streaming service.
It's a good movie though.
Like it's worth the watch.
I liked it, man.
It's worth the watch. It's not one of those where I'm like, yeah, don't waste your time with it. No, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, M. Night Shyamalan. I think he did a good job with this one. Yeah, not with Avatar though.
No, I haven't seen that one. But yeah, guys, it's definitely a really good movie. I do recommend you guys go check it out. It's obviously nothing like extremely crazy,
mind blowing,
whatever. But now I do like the the Horseman thing, the opposite thing, and I like that message. Everything was really good. I was never bored. So yeah, I think it's a good film. Like it's not terrible in my opinion. Like what people were making it out to be. Yeah. So, but yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for our review. Thank you guys so much for listening, and remember, don't let your past haunt you, guys. Take care.
Peace.